Y'all, and today is day 2 of Vlogmas. So we have made it to day 2, y'all. So yay for us on day 2. So welcome into our divine encounter with yours truly, Camila, your motivational life coach, and much more, who comes to you with her life and just sharing with you everyday activities. And this is day 2 of Vlogmas, and today we're going to talk about God moving in my life and what he has done for me on day 2. Okay, and y'all, when I tell you God is amazing and he is so good, I mean, he is so good and he's amazing. He has transformed me to be somebody that I never thought that I would be. I used to be somebody who was so quiet and to herself and would not talk to people and would have so much bottled up inside of me. And people really didn't know I had so much to say. And now I am just this person who is outspoken and who comes bold for Christ. But I'm also somebody who's reserved and quiet when need be. And a lot of times people can mistake that for weakness. And before, I would make sure that I was standing up for myself and defending myself, and I will put myself in compromising positions because I didn't want to look weak and I didn't want it to be displayed as a person that was weak. So, but where I'm at now and the way that God is moving in my life now, I know to be silent. Even when people are literally doing and saying things that's inappropriate, I can be quiet and just let them be and make them think I don't even hear what's being said. And it's because I know at the end of the day who my God is and what he has control of, right? So that means that I don't have to speak. I don't have to stick up for myself. I don't have to do any of that. I made a video, and I don't know if I posted it here or I kept it on my other page, but one day I was in my office, the main office, in the front of the house, and I was straightening it up, and God just put in my head, God don't play about his chosen ones. God don't play about his chosen ones. God don't play about his chosen ones. And I was like, that is random, right? That I just started thinking of that, and it actually was not random. It was the Holy Spirit letting me know how God felt about me, because whatever was going on in my life at that time, I felt the urge to defend myself, and God was telling me there's no need for that. I have you solely covered, and no defending is needed, because I don't play about you. And I remember he started telling me to just look back at my life and the things that had happened in my life and the things that had occurred, and think about those people, and also where they're at now and what their life look like, even if they still have life, and if they don't have life, just go back to when they did have life and what it looked like and all of those things. And I was like, oh, wow. So, and that's what he does. He has moved in my life drastically, even now, just how he covers me. I have been put in circumstances and situations where I have literally been in the room, or I've been around people and I've heard conversations being had about me, or it has came back to me things that people have said, how they have tried to make me out to be this person that I'm not. I've even had people say that I'm of the devil and not of God, all of those things, or just talk down on who I am and my character. And God has told me to keep my mouth quiet. And I have wanted to defend my character and who I am as a person. And God said, no, that's not necessary. I will speak your truth. And me speaking your truth will speak volumes, way louder than you ever can speak. And at first it was so hard for me to stay silent because I'm like, no, I need to defend myself. But now where I'm at in my life, I solely turn it over to him unless he releases me to be bold for Christ, be bold for Camila, be bold for whomever. And recently I was placed, I'm going to be very transparent. I was placed in a situation where I was somewhere and I literally heard something being said about me. And it was like literally right behind me. Probably I'm here and they're here. And I didn't even realize that the conversation was about me in the moment because God shielded me from it. I heard it, but I overlooked it. And once I reached where I needed to be, that's when God started telling me, you do realize the conversation that you heard right behind you was about you. And they were expecting you to step out of character. But God had me covered and he didn't release it to me until I was where I needed to be. And then in that moment, I was like, well, I'm a saint. And then God was like, no, you're not. Because I'm going to take care of that. And you will see the fruits of my labor and what I do for you. You will know when it has been done. And it just went back in my head. God don't play about his chosen ones. God don't play about his chosen ones. And I was going to speak about it to someone else. And God said, no, that's not even necessary. That's not necessary, right? You don't need to speak about it. You don't need to say anything about it. You're good. You're completely covered. You don't need to speak to nobody about it. They don't need to go to your defense about it because the person that you're trying to go to and say something about it to, they already know who these people are. They know how they operate, and we're going to protect you and also them. Just know that I have the situation handled already for you. And that's what I've done. Like, I have just laid it at the Lord's feet. I prayed about it and I gave it over to him. Is it hard to do that? Most definitely it is. But when you trust God and you know who God is and you know the Lord that you serve, and he shows up and he shows out all the time for us, and we just have to solely trust in him and lean not to our own understanding but his, right? And walk by faith and not by sight, and have faith as small as a mustard seed in your life, and he will cover you. And like I said, he has moved in my life drastically with so many different circumstances. But I wanted to touch on that because so many people go out to try to destroy our character and who we is. And we have so many people that's envious of us and jealous of us. And when people are envious and jealous of you, they will try to speak down on you and say things about you and just get you to act out of character. Never move out of character for anyone. And a lot of times we'll say, well, they put me in this place and I'm only acting this way because of what they're doing. Because I used to always say, don't bag me in a corner and expect me not to fight. Right. So I would justify it with saying that they push me to my limits. That's still not an excuse. If you're a man or a woman of God, you still need to carry yourself as such. Right. So never allow anyone who's operating out of a spirit that's not of God to get you in a spirit that's not of God when you know you should be operating of God. Like, period, point blank. So just remember that. Always, especially ladies, baby, carry yourself with grace, because there's so many women out here, ladies, that are so envious of you, and they will love to be you, love to walk in your shoes. And even if you have things about you that you don't like, a lot of times they're loving every bit of it. So remember to carry yourself with dignity, class, and honor who you are, the woman in Christ that you are. Keep your head up and look over them and keep walking. Don't look back, because that's literally what I did. I heard what was being said and God said, don't look back. You just keep walking. And baby, when I say I was given to walk, I was given to walk. They could say whatever it is that they wanted to say, but I did what was needed, and I classy at all times. I had nothing to say, even though there was things being said throughout the day. But when I exit the place that I was at, I made sure My presence was known when I was there with my mouth being closed. And when I exit, I made sure I exit in a way where my voice was heard, and not a negative way, in a positive way. And when I walked away, I made sure I walked away where I was seen, but not heard. And I walked away and I left. I left with my head held high, even though things had been said. And it was things said all throughout the day. And I knew that, because when you carry the gift of discernment, you know God will reveal to you what he wants you to know, and he will hold back what he wants to shield you from. So I knew. I just didn't care, because what? God don't play about his chosen ones. So there was no reason for me to get out of character and not be who I am, which is Camila, which I'm always going to be. I have a lot to lose. And people that most of the time is doing all of this in a negative way, they have nothing to lose. So never step to their level. Always stay above and rise higher above, and protect your energy and yourself. Like, that's what we have to do when we're men and women of God. Always carry yourself as a man and woman of God. And sometimes God will have us be bold, but when he's telling us to be quiet and move as he's telling us to do so. And don't allow anyone to get you out of that, because sometimes people will say, because I did have someone tell me that God is telling me to be bold and I need to speak up and this, that, and the other. No, God has me in my Esther season. Esther only moved when God told her to move. So no, I'm just not going and blasting everybody and acting all belligerent and doing all that. No, I'm moving with dignity and class. So no, some battles are not meant for me. Some battles will be fought through the people that surrounds me too, in my defense. And they won't even know that they're doing it. All I have to do is sit back with a closed mouth and watch God work. And sometimes that's all you have to do. That's what he wants you to know. Sometimes all you have to do is sit back with a closed mouth and watch him work. And sometimes he'll place the right people in the right places and they'll speak for you. And then sometimes he'll take care of it for you. I promise. Do not give the devil, the enemy, the glory, because the God that we serve is so big and so magnificent. It's not even worth it. Let them talk. Let them say what they got to say. But they'll be eating your dust as you graduate to the next level in God's kingdom. I love you, but most importantly, God does. And remember to allow him to be the navigation of your life, and he will not steer you wrong. And thank you. Thank you for watching me till the end. And if you watched this all the way to the end, just let me know which message stood out to you the most that I talked about. And again, I love you, but most importantly, he does. Happy second day of our Vlogmas, y'all. And thank you for tuning in to the second video.